What's my biggest concern about Nigeria right now? I said pain. That's my biggest concern. Nigerians are resilient people all over the world. Anywhere we find ourselves individually, we form the gathering of some of the best professionals around, to find some of the best doctors, some of the best nurses, some of the best engineers. But I think systems have been built over the years that has broken our spirit as a people many times over. And that has put us in the place where we cannot respond any other way than from pain. The pain we go through as a people has affected our comprehension. It has normalized trauma. We live in it, we breathe it. And you can't blame the people who consistently system combat to break their soul again and again. The deliberately orchestrated system of chaos, the deliberately orchestrated system of lack, the engineered poverty, the engineering of illiteracy in the northern part of Nigeria and some also other regions, so we don't just imprint it in one region. The social media engineering and all the things that have happened over the years. So when I look at my people, Nigeria, I see a people who love their country but don't know how to love it anymore. And the issue is that in this kind of situation that we have found ourselves as a people, it is difficult for anybody to come and even bring perspective that can shape and shift and bring the nation to the right place we should be without the person himself or themselves becoming demonized first. I look at the things we don't know. I think you cannot correctly understand what is going on in Nigeria and correctly interpret and diagnose it until you are at least a student of geopolitics to some extent. Because that's when you understand that sometimes what you see is not what is. And what you think they are doing is not exactly what they are doing. Who benefit from our misery? Who benefit from our pain? Who benefit from our lack? What's the interest of the international community? Are elections real? Do they count? Who decide who rules? Who decide who reigns? Who benefits from the fact that you have the worst people leading you? I don't know what your age is, and I don't know the number of cycles of election you've experienced. But the question is, who exactly benefit from having the worst people lead the best minds on earth? And when those people come to look at an election that is flawed and call it free and fair, you're still not surprised? So when I look at Nigeria, I see a dangerous blend of innocence about what is going on around the world, and pain, and that's a difficult thing, because with pain you become irrational. With innocence you don't even know who to fight. So for me, when I look at Nigeria, some of the questions I ask myself is, where do we start from? Knowledge sounds interesting, but the knowledge, you still can't teach someone who is in pain because they'll be too irrational to listen. They fight it once it doesn't look like what they think. And the danger of that is that we have become like crabs in a bucket. Everyone keep pulling another person down till everyone is destroyed. So sometimes I think and I ask myself, how many more cycles do we have to go through? How many years will it take us as a people to learn the most basic lesson? For instance, lessons as simple as all man for himself. Nobody's coming to save us. And that's difficult to teach because even the people that you call your people have failed. So the question is, what do we do? Do we look inward for leadership? Do we have? Who are those who have the boldness to lead? If they come out, will they be believed? Because media has become more than just a tool for information. It's now a tool for engineering the minds of the people. So what that means is that if somebody comes with the will, the desire, the boldness, the wisdom to help the country get out of the quagmire, it is very easy for the same person to be demonized using media, getting extractors to extract things that can cause controversy, and the same people that the fellow is trying to get in line and put their head out for become the first that say, kill him, this and all that. So there is a concept, there's an adage, and the adage is this: you cannot kill a dog if you have not given it a bad name. And one of the things powers that be understands is how to give the dogs bad names, so that when the dogs begin to bark, you call it disturbance, not warning. So Nigeria is a very perfectly architected nation of potentials that has both equally strong enemies within and without who have ulterior motives and are ready to sink the nation down. And the pain that we feel, what's the way out? I think my first recommendation for my country would be that we need to heal. And let me tell you what that means. We have become predictable in the sense that it doesn't matter what you shout at on media. It's not that deep. The moment the next thing comes, the attention switch, and that in itself is heartbreaking. Because what that means is that those who want to put you in that position will always give you things to talk about. A political aide can come out and give you akara to talk about. The next time somebody's giving you something else to talk about, and then so they understand that they just keep driving you through the tunnel. And even what I'm saying is risky because again it can be interpreted from the lens of pain. Maybe the question is, when will we be tired? When will we find out that some of the things we're saying are not working? When will the average Nigerian find out that your average influencer is bought? They can't just give you things to talk about and you just keep rantling and talking. And that will be the reality as long as the pain is what rules and drives us as a people. The things happening, are they painful? Oh yes. The kidnaps, the killings, the insecurity, they're painful. Sometimes I ask, where are the people with the knowledge? Not noisemakers. Not those who are trying to build their social media algorithm with opportunistic trends and will make fun of everything. I'm talking about sacrificial geniuses. Those who understand where we are going, can see ahead, are concerned, have the temperance, have the wisdom to lead and to guide the people. Are they still around? It bothers me. I'm close to tears at this point. I think fundamentally, apart from pain, the biggest problem of the average Nigerian is innocence. You are just so innocent that you believe everything. If a social media influencer knows what will get your attention, won't they give you? How about the government paying them to divert your attention? When was the last time we really had the boldness to? I'm here in Kenya. By the way, I've seen many things about being here in Kenya. Anyways, that's a story for another day. You don't have to answer everything. And I've seen several things happening here. And I've seen young generational people who have the might to always step out and say, we are not going to take this as a people. They don't fight people, they don't blame, they don't point fingers, they just do what they have to do and face what they have to face. I think that particular might in us as a people is broken. So what happens is that because we don't have that might in a way to look strong, we look for low-hanging fruit. And the fact that we keep shifting grounds and the subject of conversation keeps shifting every week and sometimes almost every day has positioned us as a people that cannot be respected. Because it doesn't take us anything to move on and discuss something else. This conversation that can bring solution can become a trend for another 1 week, fight it and do all those things. And some of us who have been fought also understand it's not that deep, it's just a matter of days. Everybody gets something else to talk about and move. When the people get to that point, nobody takes them serious anymore. And they have put themselves in the place where they're going to have to need more noise and more of that to get the respect So what happens to this nation of possibilities and potentials? How did we get to this point? We got here when good people were intimidated and bullied into silence. We got here when people who don't know much had louder voices than those who can help, and the voice of those who can help will not be believed because they'll be disregarded and discarded. That's how we got here. We got here when the average youth become Bible, when the attention span grew shorter. That's how we got here. We didn't get here in a day. It's taken us years and decades of distractions and of wiring and engineering to get to this point that we are. It's taken us decades of not being sincere with ourselves, lowering the standard of who have a voice and who does in society, and intelligence are becoming scarce because it doesn't get attention, and foolishness becomes paraded. It took us all those times to get here. The question is, if we continue, what kind of nation will our children meet? That's a very important question. What kind of Nigeria? What kind of country? What will they meet as intelligent? Who will be their influences? Who will shape their minds? And another very important question I ask myself is whether or not we're ready for what we are crying for. Because if we are all beneficiaries of corruption, we will not be glad when the real change comes. And I speak that about all of us, all our institutions, everything we have built, all of us. So I believe that Nigeria is a nation that every African country on the continent is waiting for to take our firstborn position and begin to lead in the things you should lead in the perspective. I have a president who doesn't just want to do roads and build hospitals, but one who also understands the systemic decimation of African countries, who understand the game, and who loves the people genuinely and want to improve their quality of lives. I think we are going to see that nation, and I think it's going to take a lot from all of us. And we are not just going to put that in hope till we come to the point where we see that we all have a role to play in building such a world. We have contributions, what we endorse, what we laugh at, what we cheer, what we... Man said, and this is one of the most powerful quotes I've seen, I'm not afraid of your boost because I've seen what you cheered. Then we'll get to that point where we become disciplined as a people. That what doesn't make sense doesn't make collective sense. And we're not going to platform ignorance and foolishness. I think when we begin to individually change as a people, it will accumulate to general, national transformation. So, Nigeria is that giant that has been kept as a dwarf intentionally and systemically.